Welcome to Modern Musings, Conversations with the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hello and welcome back. I'm your hostess, Kristen, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Amber and Cindy.
Hello.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about some epic recipe fails. And honestly, Amber and I were like, I think we've already done this episode where we talked about recipe fails.
I think we did a long time ago.
And I think we did TikTok fails, social media, craft fails or something. I don't know. But I think our whole...
Maybe it was baking fails.
Yeah, it could have been. But we were thinking that we would have like all of these chat GPT AI recipe fails. Because at the time I had thought, I want to do this topic because I had a huge recipe fail from AI. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm never trusting AI for a recipe ever again. And then I failed at that because I ended up succeeding and making lots of delicious food from AI. But in the meantime, though, I've had lots of epic recipe fails. I don't know about epic proportions, but I do have some good stories.
Yeah, I haven't ever exploded the kitchen, so.
Yeah, I haven't exploded the kitchen per se. I don't think. I mean, I've somehow got spaghetti sauce underneath the vent hood.
Well, I mean, I've heard of people, cooking stuff and there's like spaghetti sauce up on the ceiling,
Yes. But, usually most of my fails in the kitchen are me slicing my knife on my finger.
Slicing your finger with your knife.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Slicing my finger on the mandolin blade.
That happened in here. Yep. Ashley did that.
I did that not too long ago.
Mine are usually like burning something or accidentally cooking something wrong or trying to follow one of my grandma's recipes and not being able to read her handwriting.
Mine's always I forget to put in one of the ingredients or I burn myself on the stove or the pan. Mm-hmm. Lots of those.
Yeah. That's funny, too, because we were just, like, talking about expectations on our last episode.
Expect not to burn yourself.
And then you're like, my dinner is ruined because I burned my finger.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my dinner's never ruined because I burned my finger.
Yeah. Don't be married to a chef because I swear he comes home once a week with a new burn on his arm.
A new Band-Aid or a new burn. Yes,
yeah, like
right here on the arm.
Yeah, he has, like... And it's like he has no feeling on his hands or arms anymore from being a chef because he just like, it doesn't even hurt him. And I'm like, oh my God, your arm's going to fall off. Let me clean it. And he's like, I got this. And then it looks worse the next day. And I'm like, because one time he decided to check something barehanded because he's an idiot.
I've done that
I'm just
too.
Kidding. He's not an idiot, but he really expected it not to be on, but one of his coworkers left it on. Yeah. And then he like burnt like the tops of his fingers off. And I'm like, maybe we should go to the hospital. No, it's going to be fine. I'm rolling my eyes. I know you can't hear me roll my eyes, but I'm rolling my eyes because he comes home every week with a new burn.
Yeah.
Wow. That's my thumbs. Every week I've got a new cut mark from a sharp knife.
There's a way you hold stuff where you don't do that.
I know. It's not even from cutting things. It's usually from washing the dishes.
Oh, yeah. That's how Ashley cut herself on the mandolin, was washing it.
Yeah.
She was like, I didn't know it was sharp. And I'm like, it's a mandolin blade.
I put it in like the dish dryer with like the sharp point up instead of down. And then I forget it's there yourself. And I go, psh.
Oh, my knives don't go in the dishwasher. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. Not the dishwasher, the dryer.
Oh, the dryer.
Yeah, the
strainer
dryer.
Gotcha.
Thing.
The dryer. Yes,
the dryer.
I put all my knives in the dryer.
Flunk, 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 flunk.
The dish dryer. Guys.
Well,
sorry.
Okay, so I have one, and this one was the one that told me don't believe what you see on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And someone had like a little skillet on the stove. Mind you, I've never had made popcorn on a stove before. I've always been an air popper or microwave kid.
Right.
And like, I don't even think I had ever made Jiffy in the little
the little
tinfoil
tin
thing.
pan.
Yeah. And so this video was like a skillet, Teflon skillet or whatever, and they threw some popcorn kernels and Skittles in. And, you know, with TikTok, those videos are really quick sometimes. And this one was like 2 seconds long. It was popcorn on a skillet. And then they took the lid off and it was candy-coated popcorn. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I want to do that. You know, and I went in the kitchen and put a whole bunch of popcorn and a mini fun-sized bag of Skittles in. And, you know, there's lots of different colors. Yeah. So I don't know why I was thinking each kernel was going to come out a different color. I literally jumped out of bed. This was like 2:00 in the morning. I was scrolling.
I want to go do this right now.
Yes. I've never seen myself get out of bed so fast.
I've done that before.
In my pajamas. And I ran in there and I put those. It was like right after Halloween. So we had some of the mini fun-size Skittles. And I popped that on the stove. And the reds and the yellows and the greens and the oranges and the purples all melted together. And you can imagine it was like this brown purple color, right?
Yep.
It was so gross. And the Skittles cooked, like they burnt before the popcorn kernels even popped. And so I have no idea. I don't think that recipe is even possible scientifically at all. Now, did I learn how to make kettle corn? In between then, yes. And I do know how to make candy popcorn with the air popper.
Right.
And now I'm thinking about doing some other experiments because I used to make this popcorn with like the Jell-O packet.
Yeah.
Yep. Cairo syrup, whatever.
Cairo, yeah.
And now that I know how to make kettle corn, I was like, I might go back. Maybe not the Skittles, but something, you know, along those lines. Right. But that was my first fail because the burnt candy smell. My whole house.
Oh, yes.
And I'm pretty sure I set off the smoke alarm, too.
Oh, of course.
At like 2 in the morning.
At your old house, you always set off the smoke alarm.
Yes. You know that? I've only done that like 2 times at this house that I'm at. But every time I cooked in the other house, I always set off the smoke alarm. And I really like had this impression that I couldn't cook anymore because I kept failing and the smoke alarm was perpetually going off. So I was just like, I'm done. I'm not cooking anymore. So my friend had come over one day and she really loves cookies. And she was at my new house and I was like, you know what? We've been sitting on the couch all day. We need some comfort food. So I decided I was going to bake some cookies. And mind you, the only cookies I ever baked were at Mom's house using Mom's recipes. You had like very, you know, specific
ones that I use all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And even like I had baked, you had like a chocolate chip recipe one time. And I don't know what I did. Like they were really salty. Everyone at school said they were salty. So that was when I was in high school, right? So even then I had kind of given up on the idea of baking cookies without adult supervision because apparently I'm not very good at it. And so I decided, you know, I'm going to make some peanut butter cookies. It can't be that hard. I've made them before at Mom's house. I remember learning how to make them in 4th grade when we made like thumbprint cookies.
Right, yeah.
You know, I remember pushing the fork down in them. So I'm like, I want to make peanut butter cookies. I don't have a recipe for that. And I was like, shoot, well, let me just go ask the internet. And there's so many recipes online. And they were like, read the blog and whatever. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to ask GPT, whatever. And so I asked it for a peanut butter cookie recipe. And I thought, surely it can't go wrong. It's, you know, the internet, AI, you know. And I baked the cookies. The recipe looked legit.
Right.
I don't know what was wrong with the cookies, but they came out like little puddles, like they didn't fluff up.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And I think what ended up happening was my baking soda, baking powder,
Oh, it may have
whichever
been
one
old. Yeah.
was old, which, so both of those got thrown away because I was like, I don't know which one. So I tossed both of those. But the other thing that was so weird that we couldn't explain was why these peanut butter cookies crumbled in your mouth like a sand castle.
Oh.
Ugh.
They were so
not enough
weird.
liquid.
Or
Probably.
something.
Not
I
enough
don't
egg.
know.
Did you forget the egg?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I retraced my steps
The oil?
over and over and over again, and I reread the recipe, and I looked at my ingredients, and
Did
I
you
looked
look at
what I
other
measured.
recipes?
Yes, and then I went and I found other recipes, and they were all just like
They're different.
just
They're all
slightly different because they all give you different quantities of cookies.
Uh-huh.
So one says a cup of flour, and the other one says a cup and a quarter or whatever. And man, I could not figure it out. But at that moment, I was like, I'm never trusting the internet ever again
Right.
for a recipe. And so then I was like, I'm gonna just go back to my recipe books because you can't go wrong with those.
Right.
Well, you can.
You can
Because
because
those, it
human
depends on-
error.
Well, and
Yeah.
editors, sometimes miss things, when they, especially in today's world of self-publishing.
Yeah.
Who knows
And
if those
honestly-
recipes got tested or not?
When you buy a recipe book, you are really like going off a hunch that your taste buds
Are going to be the same.
and
match
taste
up with that
preferences
person's,
match up with.
You're
yeah.
also expecting, honestly, because going back to our last episode, you're expecting the recipe to turn out exact. Like if you buy Gordon Ramsay's cookbook, you're expecting to turn into a Gordon Ramsay because you've
Right.
got Gordon Ramsay's recipes, and you're like, yeah. Gordon
I could really mess up
Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay's recipes. He would say, "This isn't even good enough for the dogs."
You're an idiot sandwich.
Yeah. So, I did end up going back to Chat GPT for more recipes. But did you guys have any recent recipe fails?
I don't cook anymore.
Right.
I had, and mine wasn't a chat recipe fail. Mine was just from like a blogger, I really like the All Day I Dream About Food blog because a lot of her recipes are low carb and healthy and keto, and that stuff sometimes doesn't turn out
Right.
like that stuff doesn't always turn out to be like the best option when you want to make something. And I get like her newsletter that she sends me like every week. She sends like a recipe newsletter, and I've been like wanting to make meatloaf for a while. And, do something different than like my mom's traditional meatloaf. And I saw a recipe for, I believe it was like French onion meatloaf.
Ooh.
And I thought that sounded really good. And it was going to be low carb, so it won't have all of like the goodness that a regular, nice, juicy meatloaf have. And that was the problem right there, is that her recipe, and I followed her recipe to a T, and it was like brick meatloaf.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
'cause it needs like the crackers. and
Yes,
stuff.
Because that's what
Exactly.
holds the oils and stuff in
Yeah,
the...
it was like, I am never not doing a keto meatloaf ever again kind of thing. That ruined me
It's
on
like
that.
eating the sausage
And
brick.
exactly. And my husband, his favorite meal is meatloaf, and he loves my mother's meatloaf when I make it and everything like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna surprise him and make French onion meatloaf, because we had a lot of extra onions for some reason. And he was talking about making French onion soup. I should have let him do that with the meatloaf, with the onions.
You're like, no, don't. I want to use these onions.
Yeah, I'm
and
going to
it's
use these
be
onions
so
and make
good, I
French onion
promise."
meatloaf.
Yeah.
No keto French onion meatloaf ever again. Like I took that meatloaf out and I'm like, this is a little weird. Okay, and I was like poking at it, and I was waiting for him to come home, and I was so proud of myself for making this meatloaf because I don't like cook. Since I married a chef, I don't cook like savory anymore. I mostly bake, you know, and I'm just like, this is a weird little meatloaf. This is a little brick meatloaf. And, you know, of course he ate it because he likes meatloaf. And then like we stuck it in the fridge and neither of us wanted to eat the leftovers for it. So it just sat in the fridge and it sat in the fridge. And finally I was like, okay, we're going to have to throw away this meatloaf because obviously he's not going to eat the meatloaf. And obviously I'm not going to eat the meatloaf. I tried. Honestly, I did. I tried to take it to work and eat some like leftover meatloaf. And I took one bite of it at work, and I was just like, nope. I'm going to pretend I ate it and not bring it home. And so I threw it in the trash. I threw it in the trash at work and stuff like that. And that was
I'm over here like, I could chop that up and put it in a tortilla with some cheese.
I really thought about doing that. And I was thinking about ways I could refresh it up and do that. And then by the time I got around to it, it had already been over a week since I made it. And I didn't want to like eat it after that because like I was sitting there like on my butt at work thinking of ways I can make the meatloaf better, and then the days just went by.
Yeah.
And you know, I was the only one who was attempting to eat on the meatloaf, so
yeah,
whatever.
Well, I have another fun recipe fail.
I have one after you, but this is one that Jason did, but you go ahead with yours.
Jason make a recipe fail? It's hard to believe.
It's
but
his,
I guess
his
every
attempt
cook
at
has...
baking.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Okay. Scott's job is the stove. He's a stove man. He has the patience to stand at the stove. I do not. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to stand and stir something slowly on the stove, but he does. Like, he can do like the griddle thing. That's why I don't do omelets. I do scrambled eggs because I just want to hurry up and stir it up
and then eat
it. But he'll wait for an omelet and, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm a baker. I love the crock pot. I love the baking things, and I didn't think I was a baker until, you know, recently when I finally discovered like how to bake yeast. And now I've gone back and I made a couple other cookies and other desserts where I was like, wow, I can actually bake. Like I made some hand pies.
I forgot to ask you, have you done sourdough yet?
No, that's the one, like the next bread thing I want to explore, sourdough.
Well, hit me up.
Everybody's doing sourdough.
Hit me up when you do that sourdough, because I'll be
she's
over.
Like, I'll eat. Yeah.
I'll break my diet for some sourdough.
I made cinnamon rolls for the first time not too long ago, and they were like epic win.
Oh, I love homemade cinnamon rolls.
I mean, like the canned ones are the only thing I'd ever made. You know, where you just pop them out and throw them on the tray, and those are just kind of meh because they're kind of dry. You know?
Yeah, the dough, really the bread is completely different. Yeah,
yeah, and so I had always said I want to make cinnamon rolls, but I knew it was a yeast bread, and that I needed to really like understand making yeast bread first,
right?
Because adding the whole extra layer of cinnamon swirl and all that stuff, it's more. So, anyways, but Scott wanted to make chocolate cake, and he found some video on TikTok where they were like, did you know if you take an apple and cocoa powder and
I swear I've seen that video,
cottage cheese, and you like blend the cottage cheese and the apple up,
I'm just gagging
with
already.
the cocoa powder, I know it just sounds gross, right? But it's supposed to make like smooth like cream cheese or ricotta, mascarpone type cheese with the cottage cheese, and then you add the cocoa powder, and then apple sweetens it, like a red apple. And then you bake it, and it makes kind of like a lava cake looking thing. And so he wanted to make a dessert. And so he made that chocolate cake, and it smelled pretty good. Kind of had like a little apple smell. You could smell the chocolate in it. It didn't look bad at all. It looked kind of like a lava cake. it had a lot of cocoa powder in it, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
was already a little skeptical about that because I was like, I think you only need like a tablespoon or something for brownies, right?
No, it's more than that.
Yeah, but or like a fourth of a cup or something.
No, it's
Oh,
more like about.
This was like a half or like a
Well-
whole cup or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, for a little cake. It
Yeah, I
was
think my
only,
recipe
like,
has
6
like
inches.
7 tablespoons or 8 or
Oh,
something
okay,
like
okay.
that. So
Okay, so I don't know. It just seemed like half the container of cocoa powder, and I was sitting there going, "That stuff's expensive. Are you sure?"
right.
Especially if you get into that Dutch cocoa powder.
Yeah, I know. Because when I bought it, because I had never bought it before, and when I bought it, I was like, "Dang, I never realized this stuff was expensive. I thought making it from scratch was cheaper, but chocolate chips and stuff are really expensive right now."
Oh, yeah.
So, I was like, okay, because literally chocolate chips were like $8 a package at
What?
Christmas time. Yes.
What?
And then they put them on sale again after the
Right,
holidays or
yeah.
anyway. So yeah, they're
Yeah.
expensive. Anyway, so cocoa powder, cottage cheese, apple, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Blend it
I'm
up,
failing
put it in
to.
a pan. You're not seeing it, right?
not
There
seeing
is
it
not
either. I'm not
enough
seeing
sugar.
this.
There's no eggs. There's
The
no
apple
Nothing to
oil.
make
is
it
not
rise.
The
There's-
apple is not going to overpower the cottage cheese.
Well, and there's nothing that rises there.
Yeah,
There's,
nothing rose in it either.
Yeah.
Well,
Gives
honestly,
you the bread
it didn't
texture.
have a cottage cheese flavor. It didn't
Well, that's
have a
good.
cottage
That's
cheese
that,
flavor.
that's good.
What it had was this over bitter taste
Because too
from
much
the cocoa powder,
cocoa powder.
and the apple gave it like this mealy texture.
Mealy texture, yeah.
So it was like sort of baked cake, kind of like cornbread,
Uh-huh.
but it wasn't sweet. And so we're all cutting into this cake, making the slices. Kind of looks like cooked all the way lava cake. Sit down with our fork and take a bite, and everyone kind of looks at each other like, what is this? And then my brother Steven just immediately puts his plate down. Now, I will say, my brother Steven, he loves
eat
chocolate
anything.
cake. He won't say that he loves chocolate cake, but I know he likes chocolate.
Yeah.
And he loves dessert. He has a sweet tooth. Because
Oh,
every
yeah.
time I make desserts, he's in there getting
Boom.
his dessert.
Yep.
And to see him put his fork and plate down, like, that's the last bite of that I'll ever have in my life. And then he coined it Cake of Sadness. So, yes. And we reference the Cake
Apple
of Sadness
and cottage
sometimes.
cheese and
Yeah.
cocoa. Cake
Ugh.
of sadness.
That-
Yeah. Because that was probably the most disappointing dessert I've ever had. So I told Scott he's not allowed to bake a recipe if it's like a shortcut until he makes
the real
the
thing.
real thing.
Right.
And that's always been my thing is like learn how to make the real thing from scratch first so then you
Then you
understand
know
the
what-
principles.
Yeah, you understand
Yeah.
the chemistry of
Yeah.
the cooking.
And I think that's why I didn't want to make, cinnamon rolls because I hadn't made like just regular yeast bread,
Right.
Successfully. And the first time I made yeast bread, I made these like really complicated, or they weren't really complicated. It was just, but you know how Betty Crocker has like the base recipe,
Mhm.
and then she's got all these other recipes
That you add on to it.
and,
right.
and it says bake this recipe but sub this and this and this and this, right?
Mhm.
And the first recipe I made was
right.
the fancy one instead of the basic one, and then I failed because I didn't know how to make my yeast and stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't know like all the principles of stirring the flour
Uh-huh.
and versus like pouring the wet into the flour versus scooping one scoop at a time, and how to measure flour.
And sifting and
Yeah, and all of that
You've got
stuff.
to understand all
You
that
really
stuff.
do.
Yeah.
And so as I'm learning that stuff, I'm kind of like, okay, I'll do the baking and you could do the stove stuff. Please don't put me on the stove because unless you want everything to be burnt,
Because you're impatient and you
I'm
want it to happen right
impatient.
now.
And oftentimes I end up putting stuff on a stove and then I walk away because I think, oh, I have 1 minute. Let me go do something else. And then I've completely forgotten
Oh, yeah.
everything else that I was doing. So I've really enjoyed like the things that I can put all on one sheet pan.
Right.
So
Mhm.
that's been my adventures. Fortunately, not a whole lot of epic fails. But Amber, you said you had one to Jason.
Yes. So Jason's mom, her favorite gift to give is a calendar.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but every year she goes to the mall or wherever you buy calendars, and she picks out a calendar specifically like a tailored
To the
to
person.
everybody.
that.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
and so this year Jason's calendar, she usually gives me one for mine. She gives me for my classroom, and then like she gives Jason the one for our house. So the one that we got for our house this year was a recipe calendar. Every month there is a recipe
Oh,
of
yeah.
the month.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of fun, actually.
And so Jason, and this was like a few months ago, Jason was looking at the recipe, and it was like a banana bread recipe.
Something you can't mess up.
Yeah, a banana bread recipe, and he was looking at it, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to make this banana bread recipe. And I'm like, okay, cool, and banana bread is my thing. I love banana bread. I love making banana bread. I love making banana bread for other people. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's have some banana bread. And we just happened to have like some bananas in the house that needed to be banana breaded.
Mm-hmm.
So he makes this recipe, and you know how banana bread is supposed to look when you put it in like a bread pan.
Loaf pan,
It's like
yeah.
a loaf of banana bread. Well, this banana bread was flat banana bread. It was like banana flat bread.
Ah, that sounds like another baking soda baking powder problem.
Yeah, and he followed the recipe on this calendar.
Uh-huh.
And I guess I don't think it, asked for baking soda or whatever. They neglected to put it on the calendar, and
Oh,
he had
wow.
never really.
Oh.
And if he's not a baker, he wouldn't have thought.
Yeah,
of
he
that.
wouldn't have
why
thought
is there
about
not
that.
any? Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't that, like, the banana bread tasted bad. It didn't taste bad. It wasn't the best banana
Probably
bread
really
I'd ever
dense,
had.
huh?
Yeah, it was like a banana cake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It turned out more
that's
like a
funny.
banana cake, not a banana bread.
Interesting.
And like I said, it didn't taste bad. It was edible. It was just like it. When he took it out of the oven, I just kind of looked at it, and I'm like, that doesn't look like banana bread.
Yeah.
That looks like banana cake.
That's funny.
That is funny.
And he was calling it banana. I'm like, don't call it banana bread. Call it banana cake.
Banana biscuit.
And he's like, oh, I followed the recipe, and I was looking at
What
the
do
recipe.
they call
and I'm
those
like, that's a weird
hardtack?
recipe.
Banana hardtack.
And it's like, are we sure this calendar actually has recipes on it? So we have been like
trick.
kind of eyeing this calendar, like the recipes every month. Like, should we try another recipe on this calendar? Seems kind of sus after that banana bread debacle.
No, I kind of want you to send me a picture of that. Because that's one of the things I like about banana bread. I think it's one of the most forgiving things you can bake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
every single item in it can be substituted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it, besides the bananas, and it can still come out
Well,
like
you
banana
can
bread.
you can totally do something besides bananas. You
You can. Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, you could actually use zucchini and then use banana extract, and it'll taste like candy bananas. But because did you know there's banana extract?
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen that before.
Oh, I bought some extracts when I was up in Iowa, and I have like a buttery popcorn extract.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I bought like a bunch of different flavors, and you're giving me kind of ideas. I need to, even though
Butter
I can't
popcorn
eat it,
bread.
but I feel like I need to use this extract and make some
Like
different
butter,
breads.
popcorn, cornbread.
Ooh.
As
Yeah.
a dessert.
Savory.
Or-
Yeah.
My coworker makes a sweet potato cornbread that I really want to try and make.
Sweet
Oh.
potato cornbread. Oh.
I made my grandma's broccoli cornbread for Jason's family the other day, and it didn't rise like it normally does, but it turned out really well. It tasted just like the cornbread and everything like that.
Amber,
And
I think you guys have a baking soda, baking powder problem.
I think so too. If it
Yeah.
didn't rise, your baking soda
How
or your
often
baking
have
powder.
you been baking? Because I know you probably don't bake that much. So.
that recipe doesn't call for baking soda.
Usually, any kind of quick bread or cookies or anything was going to have some sort of
No,
leavening
but my
agent in it.
grandma's recipe is Jiffy. You don't add baking soda, baking
Oh,
powder.
that's
to Jiffy.
that's already in the cornbread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
But
'Cause
it
that's
could be
literally
old.
it.
It could be, if
Yeah.
it's old.
Because
if it's
I
old.
the
literally
baking soda
just
and baking
bought
Oh,
it from the
wow.
store.
Well, you know how many times I bought stuff expired from the store?
Oh, well, I
just
didn't look
last
to see
week,
if it was expired.
I bought something last week and it was expired already.
Oh.
I got home. I was so mad.
Yeah.
And that's another expectation thing is that you expect to go and buy something from the store and it not be
Yeah,
expired.
because they're supposed to
Right.
call they're supposed to call.
So
the
maybe
shelves,
I did buy expired Jiffy.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But any recommendation for all of you people out there that are feeling inspired to bake? If you don't remember when you last used your baking soda or your baking powder, just toss them out and get new
It's
ones. They're so cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
really
cheap.
like easy to do. But yeah, I didn't expect to put baking soda or baking powder in that cornbread
Yeah.
because I bought
Yeah.
Jiffy. I cut
Right.
the
Yeah.
corner. I didn't
Honestly,
make it
like
from
that was the
scratch.
one thing about Jiffy. My friend, that was one of the budget foods. She didn't really cook much, but she would make macaroni and cheese and cornbread and
Yeah.
stuff.
And
And
Jiffy is
Jiffy's
still
Jif-
less than $1.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
package
Yeah,
of
it's-
Jiffy.
But it
pretty
doesn't.
cheap.
It doesn't rise a whole
Yeah,
lot.
it's really
either.
flat
It's pretty
cornbread.
flat cornbread.
Yeah.
I think what I did wrong with that is I used, and normally I use legit like big broccoli. I don't use chopped broccoli, even though my grandma used chopped broccoli. And I think I was expecting it to turn out how like I normally make it, and I bought chopped broccoli instead. And that was my expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
kinda
it turned
want you
out
to
really
share
well.
that
The
recipe, too.
only-
That sounds good.
The only fail that I did with that is that when I was like taking it home to put it in the car, I tripped and the cornbread went flying all over the yard.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That was my fail right there. Is that
Yeah, I've had that happen. Oh my gosh.
I fed the birds instead.
I dropped it. I made one year when Kristen was a baby. I made jelly. The first time I'd ever made jelly, and we had these little grapes growing in the backyard, and I don't even know if they're the right kind of grapes for making jelly, but I was just gonna make jelly because there's all these little grapes, and it made 4 little tiny jars of jelly. That's all there was out of this whole huge thing of grapes that I got.
Yeah,
and I
can
was
you
getting out of the
imagine what when they make wine, like how many grapes
I know.
they go through.
And
That's crazy.
I was getting out of the car and dropped one of my jars. So I got 3, all that work, a whole, a day of picking and a day of cooking. and I wound up with 3 jars of jelly. That's my epic fail right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That always underwhelms me, the amount of products
yeah.
you get when you make.
Stuff, yeah.
Scott's been making marinara from
Oh, yeah.
scratch, and it's like this giant bag of tomatoes, and then all this basil and onions and all
And
the
it all
garlic.
cooks down when you get all the
and
water
you
out
roast
of it.
it in the oven, and it's got red peppers too. And then you take it out and put it in the blender, and it makes 2.5 jars.
Yeah.
So it makes like 70 some odd
Ounces. Yeah.
ounces. But then we make spaghetti out of it, and it's like
It's gone.
There, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like dang.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many tomatoes, but I know like the ketchup company, they say it has like thousands of tomatoes or whatever. I
Right.
don't know, but it's like I guess we take for granted how many tomatoes are in those jars
little
and
jar
stuff.
of ketchup.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the state considered ketchup a vegetable for a while.
Wow. Yeah. They were like, y'all are eating all our tomatoes and ketchup. So, I have another one that's a fail I forgot about. So, I've been exploring the Instapot.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And there's so many recipes out there from other people
Right.
posting online, because the Instapot company itself, like, they have a few recipes, but for the most part, like my Instapot was Ree Drummond, so it came with this tiny little cookbook
Oh, yeah.
that has like 2 or 3 savory dishes, a couple of desserts, and a couple of appetizers and sides. So it's like really small. And I've cooked almost everything in there. So I wanted to explore some other things. And there's this recipe in our cowboy cookbook that I really liked. And the cowboy cookbook is like these TV stars and stuff like submitted their recipes and they compiled them. So there's a Yosemite Sam's cranberry chicken recipe. And it's like you take French dressing and a French onion soup mix and a can of cranberry sauce. Not like the tube where you pull it out of the jar and it's all together.
That we call bologna.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to call it bologna, but no one else is
Nobody else
going
would
to know
know
what
what
I'm
it
talking
is.
about. But, you know, like the kind where it has like
Where you
cranberries
slice
in
it,
it
yeah.
still. Like the chunky kind.
Chunky.
And you mix that in. And then it says to use a whole chicken fryer, which because the language,
Well,
you know,
a fryer
over
is a whole
time, it's a
chicken.
whole chicken. Yeah. Well,
But it's cut up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so skin on, you know, and it's weird because like in the recipe says, you know, like line your pan with foil and then you dip the chicken in the sauce and it's like chunky. So when you dip it, the
Chunks fall off.
cranberries don't stay on the chicken. It's
Right.
always been like, it's a really good tasting recipe, but I also don't like the chicken on the bone or with the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So I've modified it like a lot over time. And so now I just do chicken breasts and I make the sauce and then I mix it all together and pop it in the oven
Right.
with the foil on top. So it steams it and then it makes like this chicken and jelly. It's just kind of weird. Like when you look at it, you're like, this is kind of gross, but it actually tastes really good. And then it comes with like this rice peel off kind of recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good to eat on top of the rice, which is actually a completely separate recipe. Well, I know that you can layer stuff in the Instapot, right? And make rice, and then you can put chicken on top, and then you can cook them.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with ChatGPT to create the recipe so that it would all be cooked at one time
Mm-hmm.
in the Instapot so that the chicken would get cooked all the way and the rice
would be done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I cut the chicken into like bite-sized pieces and made the chicken and sauce mix. And then you put the rice at the bottom with a layer of the vegetables because it has like carrots and celery slices and almonds in the
Okay.
rice pilaf. It's really plain. And then you put the chicken on top. And I have this recipe. I saved it and I even sent it to someone because I was like, this is what I'm making for dinner. It's so good and you should try it in the Instapot.
Oh gosh.
So this is how bad recipes happen
Yeah.
because it's out there in the world and it's actually created like a saved as a PDF locked in time. My Instapot wouldn't build pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, it like took hours to cook. Like I could not get it to like
You didn't have a good seal or something.
yeah,
on the
and I
Instapot.
really was thinking there was something wrong with my seal on my Instapot or something. Well, come to find out, it was too full.
Oh.
AI
yes.
didn't think about how much
You were putting in
the
there,
recipe
right.
was, and it was too full. It finally did cook. I finally got it to seal and lock, and when it came out, the rice was purple. It was like
What?
this like purple color. My chicken was purple from the cranberries.
Oh.
It was like
yeah.
this purpley red, like magenta color, which it kind of
Weird.
already did that before. But with this chicken being small, it usually like
It was just
cooked
the
on the
outside,
outside.
edge of it. Yeah.
yeah, and then the inside was normal, but this was like permeated, and then the rice was like some of it was cooked and some of it wasn't, and
Oh.
at the bottom it was burnt.
Oh, because it
Because
just sat there.
It just kept steaming and steaming and steaming, but it never locked, and so all the liquid came out, and my rice was like dry.
Ugh.
But I ended up taking it out. And I remember right. I ended up scooping it all out, and then now it was all mixed together, and I put it in the oven and baked it. the way
Wow.
I normally do. But
That's a-
I have
that's a
the
good
recipe
fail.
here, and I really want to try it again in smaller quantity, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
won't. I haven't made that since then. That
Yeah.
was probably back in February. And I
Yeah.
used to make that recipe all the time, and I haven't touched it since then. Like, I was really disappointed. So, that is my most recent epic recipe fails. I haven't really had any other major recipe fails. I feel like I've had some really good successes in the kitchen lately. So I anticipated when we planned out this episode that I'd have lots of them. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
I haven't had so many failures. Even
It's all
when
good.
I made my
we had
pizza
some
dough.
funny stories.
I know, right? But maybe I'll find some more, or maybe I'll just find other people with recipe fails.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I used to have a lot of them, but I think we covered most of them on our previous episode.
Mhm.
And I don't really cook anymore. So if I do cook something, I'm just making the same things that I've.
Always made.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Last time I failed at a recipe was like 2 days ago. When I say a fail, but I just forgot to put an ingredient in it.
Yeah, I have done that many
Yeah.
times, you know.
It was like it's a keto recipe actually. It's you cook bacon and ground beef and Brussels sprouts chopped up
Ah.
on the skillet, cook it down, and then you add some sour cream
Mm-hmm.
to, well, you cook everything kind of separate. The bacon and the Brussels sprouts get cooked together, so they kind of fry up, and then you stir in like a couple tablespoons of sour cream
Mm-hmm.
into it, and then you put the ground beef on top, and then you put melted cheese on top, and you bake it in the oven. It's so good. I forgot the sour cream, and it still came out really tasty, but it was almost impossible to scoop out of the pan because the sour cream actually kind of holds it all together.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
and so when you went to go scoop it, it was just all falling everywhere. So
falling
it ended
apart,
up
yeah.
being like a skillet.
Yeah.
But that's about it. What are
Yeah.
we talking about next week?
Next week, we are talking about a TED Talk that I heard a while back, and it's based on mind magic, the choices we make about time, meaning, and attention. And I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about that.
Sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you guys stopping by, checking us out this week. We'll be back next Wednesday. If you need to reach out to us, check us out on MMC Chat on Facebook. And you could also visit us on modernmusings.net.
Yep.
We'll catch you next week then.
Bye.
Bye.